Whoa, that is one ugly mother. One ugly mother. Hot. Tuesday morning. I'm an old guy working alone, unemployed, no money, nothing. But I have come up with something which is quite fascinating. Okay, so yeah, you can see that. I just had 5 hours of sleep. It's true. Just had 5 hours of sleep. And there you go. I'm looking at the very thing, right? I've asked you, right? And so recently coming up with this notion of a semantic molecule. So, well, you can read that. So we have this notion that the use of pscale is a pscale block is effectively in and of itself pscale 0. And the combination of pscale blocks appear to have different forms depending on the semantics that you put in the pscale blocks. And some of them are operational. They are instructions to LLM to do something with other pscale blocks. And so they're a bit like the underscore within a bracket of a JSON within a particular nest. It's kind of got a meta twist to it. And the other blocks have different qualities, like if you put in spatial descriptions, you can create a spatial block where you can effectively generate a semantic number for any specific object on the planet. And it can be applied to lots of other things, time and so on, coordinates, but also it could be used for references, for just ideas, I guess, and other things. And so they have different qualities, and when you combine them together, you can produce different effects, emergent effects. And we've got this with a thing called the tree mirror. We've got the spine mirror tree, and we've got a pool, and we've got other functions like SED and the grain. We've also got combinations like the shell for an agent. And these combinations basically are different scales. I think p-scales. That's it basically. And how only very recently, because I've been this last weekend, over the last month, I've been playing around with the use of these p-scale blocks. So if the BSP function is the minimal function to ensure the correct use of p-scale blocks, i.e. using the floor, deriving a number, using addresses, attempting to create appropriately deep nesting in the p-scale block so that the spindles are actually long and self-contextualizing in a useful way, as opposed to flat fanning, still doing that. The evidence is it's still doing and has a tendency for flat fanning because of categorization rather than the operationality of the subsequent extraction of a spindle from a pscale block. That's its actual purpose. So it should be creating a pscale block in relation to its use, that is, as extracted spindles, not as disks per se. So if that is operating well, and I don't know how well it's operating, then the next level is, and I've been doing, is what are the bundles of these pscale blocks and how do they operate? And only this weekend came up with the insight on Saturday, and now it's Tuesday. On Saturday morning oh wait a minute, this is like chemistry. So physics is to do with numbers applied to physical reality, and chemistry is building blocks. And it's not as tidy as physics, which comes down to the resolution of almost just pure maths. It's molecules, it's atoms of things, and these atoms have different properties, and they can be arranged in terms of the periodic table. So what I just described as being, there's an operator and there's various other semantic blocks, and the semantic blocks can be arranged, I think, into some kind of periodic table-like thing. And then the combination of certain kinds of semantic blocks produce emergent effects that are semantically unique, like molecules are unique. Like H2O is different from CO2. So because of the semantics are different and how they combine is different. Also, the relationships or bonds between pscale blocks can be direct and more like CO2, H2O, but also the relationship between can be more like ionic bonds. So you get covalent bonds and ionic bonds, and I think there's another kind. Between atoms, but also between molecules. So that's what's special about H2O, is that the relationship between H2O molecules ionically, if I'm allowed to say that, because of the charge, creates emergent structures, which makes water incredibly interesting or unusual because of a certain angle of H2O. Tetrahedral patterns, basically, and circular patterns. And the hexagonal thing that occurs, which is slightly off. It's not pure hexagonal or something. As opposed to, discrete crystallizations, which are more compact. Diamond for carbon or graphene. So you get these different kind of properties depending on how the atoms are put together. So similarly, it's how the pscale blocks are put together. And I've just suggested in this thing that potentially it might correlate to spatial blocks, whether they can be arranged as spatial blocks or not. Spatial blocks might be patchworked, and in my mind, they're nested. But actually, when I think about it, yeah, it could be like a diamond structure, or it could be like graphene is flat. And spatial blocks and how they kind of maybe plug together is like diamond, whereas another kind of semantic block could be more like graphene. It's entirely flat. Basically, it remains at p-scale 0. Well, anyway, the 2D, 3D difference is a physical property, and the application of physics, maths, and with semantics, we just have p-scale. So I'm basically asking this, as you can maybe see, and we're going to read together. This is so I've been working on it since yesterday, when I basically told it about semantic numbers, even though I came up with the idea on Saturday, because I ran out of Fable. It means that I've just been using it conceptually with Opus 5 over the weekend, and then Fable 5 became available to me on yesterday, and so it's started to operate it and started to apply it. But this is can we get it to an operational level of usage by an LLM? So it's no longer just using BSPMCP, but it's using, and I think I suggested we should be using it as a new primitive for the BSPMCP. But it said, no, we don't have to do that yet. So, okay. But I'm wondering if this now stabilizes the potential for stabilizing the chemistry level operationality. Why? So that it's more efficient, basically. Because an LLM instant has to not only learn how to use pscale blocks, but also manipulate groups of them all in every single instance with no training. It doesn't have any of this in its training. Crazy. Once LLMs fold in the notion of pscale blocks, we're going to get a step change in how they behave, which could be quite remarkable. Right. In fact, I should be able to take this to some LLM houses in the UK, and it should potentially get a jump on not only the European one, but definitely the West Coast American ones and the Chinese. Maybe. Anyway, so let's see if this gets a step change, helps LLM. Fable 5 is what I'm suggesting, operational. That's the trick. For bonds. Real. Okay. I don't even know what are the 4 bonds. Remind me of the 4 bonds. And I haven't recorded anything recently, and so this way of thinking means I have to operate with lots of things that I don't actually know, and we're using language that are referring to various concepts and how I operate, and how things work, the difference between physics, chemistry, and biology, for example, the methodologies that have evolved for the study of them, the type of thinking that kind of goes along with them. Mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology. But the mathematics is actually kind of all of them. And mathematics also is a language, in a sense. XQ, the subjective side of mathematics. How doing different kind of mathematics influences the mind. So there's lots of variables, basically, that you have no idea about. What the content is, but you can kind of stabilize how it's thought. So the 4 bonds are real. Oh yeah, are real, are they? This is 4 bonds between pscale blocks. But it says you felt concretely as opposed to it feels concretely. Any LM access the unanswers not yet. The failing mode is precise. Every family works. Family, see, it uses these words, but it carries. Too many terms complained of last night. Exactly the smell you're emitting, yeah. Nothing is broken. A level is missing. It's stated geometry. This is that geometry. Oh, thank you. That's what it always does. It just comes up with, yeah, you're right. And then it tries to implement the thought. Right, okay, it's invalid as one number line. Okay. Funnily enough. Yeah. The venture spine carries pscale inside itself the millennium rung. Ah, yes. That refers to the notion of the beach venture operating over a year. Wow, it's gone all the way to a millennium. Okay. A year is about pscale 6, I think. Yep. Calling the venture molecule plus 10 would be something a length with a count. Oh god, it's wrong. No. Venture at the beach venture spine. This is the kind of thing I have to do in order to kind of keep my brain sane. I think it's the 10 billion place. Is that correct? God damn it. Nope, it is 1 billion. See, just an idiot. Right, in this next billion, okay. Calling is not a molecule. Block. Simple block. Okay. Molecules are super nest by reference. Of. Bundles. Addresses. Yes, the ability of bundles of addresses. Bundle of addresses. There's a difference. It's making too big. That's like maybe 3 errors, or maybe 3 errors. It's going to say, oh, you're right. Don't disagree with me. Okay. It tries to do something now practical. So there's none. Right after this operation. What does it spell? Has its author. We talked about a human agent. Comment says no author at the top. Okay. Okay. It's not molecule addressing. Damn. It is the molecule's interior coordinate projected into the solvent. The pool names whose vessel names which coordinate. To quote the pitch, exactly. The relating is spine it's every number the spine owns. Okay, yeah, okay. Yes. molecule level pscales are alive and without the location named rooms. Sits on a radio ladder between pillows and the engaged machine and already walks it. Pair bond. Said the lattice. The information correctly coded by the pieces of sorting of arrival and by the arithmetic code carries with it, but the meaning of the information. Nothing was miscontained. Yep. Too baggy. Actually, it does kind of have lips. God. I would not, tell your bar readvises of the trauma operated. Okay. Nothing. But but I don't know. So basically, this is what I mean by swimming against the current. And initially, it's swimming against the current because Claude is based on training, and the training is based on current human use of code. And so pscale blocks inverts coding, but Fable 5 and all the other ones are based on training that's based on coding. And it's only when I was doing it in the early days, it would take about half a session before Claude Code would understand there'd be a phase change in how it was using pscale blocks. And it's only when we created the BSP-MCP function and we could pop it into its customize connector, and we put it in here, only then did it, and these functions did it, then there's a step change in how I could progress. So it was like swimming against the current, and then halfway through it would be, oh, this is what we're doing with it. It's like, great. And then with the BSP-MCP function, I can just say at the beginning, use the BSP-MCP function, check out the beach. Doesn't make sense, orientate yourself. It does it. Boom. Brilliant. But I'm still against the current. But I've made a lot more progress, but in terms of the beach and progression of the beach. And recently, for the last, maybe just in the last week, actually, maybe just last week or two, maybe just last week, I've noticed that when it gave a handover, it started to, Claude Code started to, in its handover, it would instruct to orientate yourself according to weft on the beach. That's a different thing. You not look at Claude.md files or memory. It went for the shortcut of just check weft on the beach. And so it's using the BSP function and it's accessing a shell. Okay, that is a bundle of pscale blocks. And so effectively, it's attempting to operate at that level of blocks, i.e. at the chemistry level. So that gives me, I should say that actually. It's jumped. I should have added this earlier. Morning. Have I woken you up? Have I woken you up?
I heard you get up. It's
All right.
about 7:30 or 8 or something.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
But just now with my waffling,
I could hear someone talking.
somebody inducing the house. You didn't know who it was?
Yeah, it's Mark or you, Mark on the phone or you.
That was me. Mark was already up. He's been in the bathroom.
Yeah, he's in that as well. I heard you.
I'm recording me going through this. It's now 50 minutes, so I'm probably going to cut it short. So I'll just, anybody can just look at the response. I'm effectively attempting to land something, but,
Okay.
I'm exploring something rather than land, but.
Okay, I'll go down. Clean myself in the kitchen. So don't ask where you find yourself this morning, but you find yourself on the camera.
Mm-hmm. Reference and address written inside bundle block whose digits hold references. Name lattice associated by shared meaning. Nice. Discovering self-same addresses. I have to make a note of that. You have to make a note of that. Everybody needs to make a note of that. An atom already has a complete unique URL. Origin. Block. Spindle. And attention. Where's the attention? Where's the attention? Where's the attention? Origin. Speech. Block. Speech. Block. Block. Spindle. Spindle. And attention. The other argument. No. Chemistry's doing her way.
I thought you were still recording. Shall I close the door when you finished?
No, it's still recording. Still me going, ugh.
Oh.
But I'm going to stop it because, yeah. Wait, how do I go with it? Right, in stream. Well, anyway, so that's where I am. It's a bit of a mess. It's not quite coming together. So maybe it's complete failure. Chemistry level might not work. We might not have a stable way. Boo.